All right, guys. So tonight we watched Halloween 1978, the first installment in the Halloween series, directed by John Carpenter. What did you guys think, AJ?
I liked it. I'm going to say that I do like the Friday 13th movies just a little better. More of like character. Jason. I like Jason a little more than Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
But there were parts in it that I really felt that they set Michael Myers up to be a very just really random but creepy character.
What did you think, Dylan?
Okay, here's the thing. You're comparing Jason and Mike Myers together already this early in the franchise. So I don't know. Maybe hold your tongue on that. Right
That is true.
Because
this
who's
is
to
the first
say?
time
What if
I've
we
seen
get
it.
deeper into this thing and Michael Myers ends up being more of a badass than we expected?
Yeah.
Because I am on your side when I say first movie, Mike Myers isn't. He's menacing. He's scary, but he's not like. I don't know, he doesn't do a lot. Like, he just kind of walks around and kills people.
Yeah, with a knife.
Very slowly.
Very slowly. Like, he just kind of creeps around and he kills people, and there's, like, not really so much creativity behind him whatsoever. He's kind of boring. He's kind of dull. Like, you know.
And, like, halfway through the movie, he's only killed 2 people and a dog.
Right. I feel like this is going to be the first Halloween movie that's going to have the lowest body count out of all of them. Because I feel like they did, like, some kind of test screening, and people were like, okay, if you're going to make a sequel, first thing, a lot more people have to die. Because holy shit, it's kind of boring halfway through the movie. You know, there's not a lot of fat to chew on in there.
Right.
Yeah. Nathan, what did you think? I know you walked into the end of the film.
Yeah. I came in with like the last 10 minutes and
What did you think of the last 10 minutes?
The last 10 minutes was awful. I mean, I haven't seen the Halloween movies, but I've seen the other one, like the other movies with him in it, and they're basically all the same. None of them are really great, and none of them are really awful.
So you're saying you've seen most of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not a fan of them.
I mean, I might watch them just to laugh if I was really drunk, but like
they're kind of a staple though, aren't they? Like I feel like every Halloween there's the Halloween movies coming out.
It's sort of like a little tradition. It's just to get together and watch them, but I wouldn't just watch them to watch them. Like, oh, hey guys, this is a great movie. No,
I will say John Carpenter is my favorite, like one of my favorite horror movie directors. He's made like all of my favorite horror movies, and this is my least favorite of like all the movies he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, that said though, the Halloween movies have a special place in my heart. Not more so like I never thought Halloween was a good movie. Like I don't think anyone could pass this off and say it's like genuinely some kind of like a good movie per se.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that.
Okay.
I think the first Halloween is a standalone probably the greatest slasher film of all time.
That's the one that kind of kickstarted it.
The one we just watched tonight was a great film. All the sequels, I mean, they go downhill from here, but they're still entertaining.
It's one of those 3%ers.
I like the
What?
He's one of those 3%ers.
I like the feel of this movie. It almost had kind of a Hitchcock feel to it because it's very suspenseful. It takes its time. It's very much a product of the 70s.
Yeah. The movie definitely wears its influences on its shoulders. Yeah, it's a good classic, it's a good classic horror movie. Even though it's not, I wouldn't go as far as to call it's scary. It's a horror film. I mean, you can call it scary. But it's not as brutal as I thought it would.
No, not at all.
It's almost not a horror movie. It's more of
a thriller.
It's a thriller. Yeah.
It's a mix of, I would call it like a psychological thriller, because it's like a lot of scenes in that movie are told from like Michael Myers' perspective. Like there's that scene where he pulls up in the car and he's just breathing heavy and he's staring at the kid. Like that shit's creepy.
He's
on
just
its
creeping.
own.
He's just a
He's
creeper.
He's a creep.
He's just creeping for like half the movie.
I like how the film
does.
slowly develops. It doesn't need to be.
It's got that
fast-paced.
slow burn,
and that is true. Like they set an atmosphere that's really, you start getting into the film itself, just like with the outside noise and then the music, the traditional song.
I'm also a big fan of movies that take place in just one day, and this is one of those films.
Yeah,
that is true. Wow,
it's a 24-hour period film.
So, what did you think of his like psychologist or whatever it was,
Dr. Loomis?
Yeah,
I love Dr. Loomis.
He's a
almost
great
like
character.
a detective.
He's
wasn't
great,
he?
really
even
is.
though he doesn't do much in this movie besides be like, Mike Myers is the devil, and
Right.
everyone's like, sure, you crazy old man. And then the movie ends with him being like, oh, fuck, he is the
Yeah.
devil.
He plays the psychiatrist, but he also is wearing that long trench coat and he has that sleuth, that detective
like Sherlock
feel.
Holmes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Fun fact about him: he is a Bond villain from one of the Sean Connery.
Which one?
You Only Live Twice. The James Bond film where it has the villain, I forget his name, but shaved head and a white cat that Dr. Evil was based off of, is the same actor as in
okay.
Halloween.
Question. The beginning of it that I missed, unfortunately. A 6-year-old brutally murders his 17-year-old sister.
Yeah, that's Mike Myers.
And he only goes away for 17 years. Think about the change in times. Like, if you murdered your sister today, you'd go away for life.
Oh, well, he breaks out, though. That's how he got
So he
loose.
breaks out.
Yeah, but either way, 15 years sentence and a life
They
sentence.
probably, I think there's a lot of, like there's a lot of scenes where, like, Dr. Loomis is, like, talking to people about Michael Myers, and so that's where you're getting all your information about who he is, like, his background a little bit, because, like, it opens up with him murdering his sisters, so you're obviously like, okay, this kid's got some screws loose. But then as the film develops, it's like, Loomis is saying, oh, he's an evil man, like, he's terrible, like, you want to stay away from him, like, he's...
Like he stared at a wall during that whole mental institution,
Right,
just
that
waiting
he's
for
just-
that moment
yeah,
to
he's-
come back to his town and kill people.
He's just a cuckoo bird, yeah. So you get more so, like, I don't know, the way he's talked about is scarier than, like, how he's presented, is, like, I guess where I'm
That
trying
is
to go
true.
with that.
That is very
Because
true.
it's like, there's the iconic mask that he wears, which is, I guess, as everyone probably knows, it's a William Shakespeare, or what's his name?
Shatner. It's a William Shatner mask.
Yeah, it's a William Shatner mask that they spray painted white.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
I didn't know that.
yeah, that's the iconic mask that he wears and stuff. So it's like,
I forgot that he takes off his mask, or someone takes it off in this film, and we actually see his face, because in all the sequels and remakes, you never see his face.
I think isn't like
It's at the very end he shows his face.
Yeah, in this film.
And it's not in any others.
Not that I remember. I haven't seen everyone.
I thought maybe
I know
to
in
be
the
honest-
Friday the 13th series, there's one where they show a face.
Of Jason?
Yeah, but I think it was someone impersonating Jason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is one of them.
The one with the dad, where the dad acts like he's going to kill everybody. I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one we watched together on TV.
Oh, that one from that night.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Jason shows his face quite a bit in the movies.
Okay.
Just it's always disformed. Like
It-
starts
it-
out normal and then
It
it's just
changes
really
every
bad.
time though. Like you can see when he was a kid when it was really deformed,
Yeah.
and then it goes to where he's adult and it's just like half of his face is kind of
Like
messed up.
melted off.
Gross looking.
But in this, Michael Myers was just a normal looking dude.
Well, if you look
For
at
the
his,
most
like,
part.
if you looked at like his one
He looked
like
kinda handsome,
right
though.
eye or something, it looked like it
Yeah,
was like
you got hit on
drooping or
Dylan.
something.
He looked a little handsome, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I took that mask
was,
off. I said, "Oh, daddy."
Yeah.
Dylan's
So what
gonna
do you-
get catfished later.
What do you think of the female characters?
So the female characters in this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis, I think she's, I don't know. There's a whole lore, right? Like, isn't like Jamie Lee Curtis there's something about her where she's related to Michael Myers, and Mike Myers is like trying to kill off like the rest of his family name.
Yeah, in the later sequels,
Do they go into that a
you
little
would-
bit?
you-
Okay.
It feels like she's a sister in the later movies, but in this
They-
film, she doesn't seem to be related.
Does Mike Myers just happen to come across like these? This
He just
want
want
to
to. Does he just want to finish killing everyone he tried to in
Wait,
the first
do
film?
you think that's why at the beginning they gave her that key for the door, or what was that at the beginning?
that was because her dad was a realtor selling that Myers house?
Maybe
But
they just added that in.
In the
or-
later films, it's almost as if she is a Myers. I mean, maybe she changed her
they
name.
probably just added
I
that in
think-
later.
I think there's some weird stuff in the See, I'm judging this right now as a standalone film because we've only seen one movie and it's called
Right.
Halloween,
Yep.
and that's all I know right now.
We should
Right.
go in blind as AJ
right.
is.
So
yeah.
as far as like Jamie Lee Curtis's character go, I didn't really care for her because she just kind of seemed like helpless, but like helpless like for on her own terms, where it's like all like the misfortune that happens to her like amongst her friends and stuff, like the way her friends treat her and all that. It's like it's almost like she just submits to it, and it's like she's too helpless. She's too much of like you almost know it's like, oh my god, like I know inevitably Mike Myers is going to get to her, and it's going to take forever to kill her because she's going to be falling all over the place. It's going to be this big dramatic thing. So maybe I'm biased because I went into it knowing I was like, yeah, she's going to be the last one that is just like not going to cooperate whatsoever.
I didn't dislike her character, but I feel like I'm partial to it just because she's the protagonist, and we're seeing the film through her eyes.
Yeah, she's a good protagonist. I mean, as far as
and she was trying to help those kids, and everyone else
she's like the good girl of the group because the other two friends are like, I'm gonna go out and have some drinks, and I'm gonna go have some underage sex.
Yeah, let's talk about the underage sex.
Okay.
With the fact that the two characters, which one of them's your favorite,
PJ Souls,
favorite character in the series.
Not my favorite character. No. Well, she's.
Oh, I mean,
she's dead.
favorite.
She's just a good. She's like an actress.
In the first movie.
She's an actress I like.
They just go into this random house, friend's house, and then just. Yeah, just go for
it. They make themselves at home. Get beer out of the refrigerator, and
they screw in the parents' bed.
Yes,
for like couch.
10 seconds.
Oh, that was the best thing ever. I love how they start having sex, and the camera like starts to pan over to the side of the bed, and by the time the camera's done panning, like they're done having sex. It was like 15 seconds.
It was a quickie.
I will say
very quick.
Real life probs.
That whole location setting was the best part of Michael Myers. But that's when they set him up, like I thought,
with the ghost,
the scariest. Yeah, like nailing that guy on the wall with a knife.
Oh, that was the best kill of the whole film.
And then he sets all the dead bodies up as like a haunted house for Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
See, that's the thing. Okay, that's where I start to like Michael Myers, because he starts to like take on this like psychological approach to everything, where it's like when he set up the bodies throughout the house for her to like stumble upon. It's like he's trying to like scare this bitch.
Yeah. He's very methodical.
It's like it adds that whole like just creepiness. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Actually,
why
now that I'm thinking about
crazy?
The car scene where he chokes her and then stabs her, and her face like runs against the car window. That was actually really well put. Like,
I think she was my favorite character in the whole film.
Her?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
but there's two friends. There's Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Souls, and the third one with the big nose.
I actually like the scenes early in the film, even though they're pretty cheesy and campy, or the scenes where he's standing behind a hedge and you just see him for a split second. You're just seeing different parts of him slowly checking out the town, and then the hardware store where someone had robbed a Halloween mask. And I like how it just has that slow build to it.
Her name was Annie. That was the character.
Annie, that's right. Yeah.
And then Linda is the PJ Souls character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who played Annie?
Nancy Kyes. K-Y-E-S.
Yeah,
she reminded me of, is it Jennifer Grey? The Dirty Dancing.
That's the
Ferris Bueller.
I thought that's
it really felt like her, but it
might not have been.
I know it wasn't.
Also, this movie is great on so many levels. Also, the fact of that it fits so perfectly into like the stereotypical. I mean, I don't know much about slasher movies, if I'm being honest, but I do know enough that I think Halloween was like the one that kickstarted them, if I'm not wrong. Like, was this not the first slasher movie?
No, it definitely set the
record.
It set the bar.
Friday
it set the bar. Like it invented the
what
genre.
came first? Friday the 13th or Scream, like stuff like that.
Oh, Scream was not like early.
I think
90s.
Scream was early 90s.
Was it early 90s?
Yeah, it was.
Friday the 13th, I think, is like 1980, something like that.
82, I want to say. I feel 82.
Early 80s.
Okay, so Halloween was first. We talked about that before going into the film. Okay, so
I've always heard that that's the series or the type of genre.
Well, the opening to Halloween is so similar to the opening to Friday the 13th, because it's like it is. It's so like it almost feels like I had a moment where I was like, oh, this is a Halloween, not Friday the 13th.
Yeah, except not kids. It was like more of a, but like the same thing where you see it in his eyes,
right? Like from the killer's perspective.
You don't really see anything gruesome other than him stabbing the victim,
right? And doesn't he also have a mask? Doesn't he put a mask on?
Yeah, he puts a mask on. What was that? A clown mask? He picked up off the floor.
In Halloween.
Michael Myers was wearing a Halloween costume of a clown when he murdered his sister in the beginning.
And he just picked it off from her boyfriend.
And it was interesting.
No, but he was dressed as a clown.
He was dressed as a clown.
I think it was his mask.
That was his Halloween costume.
Yeah.
And this was interesting. I was telling Dylan during the film that I have always watched this on AMC's Fright Fest.
They cut
So
that out.
I've never seen this unedited, like full film before.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like kind of one of my first times seeing it too. Like this is the first time I've seen it. I mean, I recall watching it like on DVD or something at some point, but it's, you know, anytime I've ever watched this movie, it's been on AMC Fear Fest because that's like where I first saw it. So
And
like,
it looked beautiful,
It
being
looked really
restored in the
Oh, it looked damn
1080p.
good.
1080p looked
Mhm.
gorgeous.
It looked really
wasn't bad.
good.
And I love the shots of the scenery. Like I'm not even joking. It just looks so nice with the leaves falling. But they weren't, like Dylan pointed out during the movie.
They weren't autumn colored, and I know that's because they shot it in California.
Yeah, but it takes place in like middle Illinois.
So my thing is why not just set it in California, right? Like what different?
not
Why does
just
it? There's
film
not
it
really.
in
a
And
reason
Illinois?
it
then
has
some
to be
of
Illinois.
the sequels are set in California.
So yeah, what the fuck?
Really?
What's the deal?
Yeah.
Why not
Maybe that
just
middle-
film it in Illinois?
Maybe
Well,
that
it
middle
was
western
shot on a
town.
low budget, and they
Mm.
were the people who were making the movie lived in Los Angeles
Yeah,
or wherever.
the
So they were like, "We're gonna
movie
make a movie,"
had like a $300,000 budget or something,
Mhm.
and then it made $100 and something million.
I feel like that's a big budget still, though. Like,
I would say $300,000 is pretty low budget for film these days because nowadays, just with the equipment and the technology and everything involved and like what you have to make a movie, like a properly done film,
Yeah.
it's so expensive. Back in the day, I mean, that might have been 300,000 seems like a lot of money still today, but for a film it got you about as far as
But
Yeah.
I know it had a cult following.
it
like,
was successful.
even
enough.
years after it really started picking up the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, the Halloween 2.
That's how much they made.
Do you know what the budget for making the film was, though?
300,000 to 325,000.
Oh, okay.
Man, I was pretty
yeah,
close.
that's actually not really a low budget movie at all, is it?
that's today's.
What is it?
That would be how much the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
$1 million?
$1 million.
That's about a proper film for the
Yeah,
time.
wow.
For
yeah.
like an independent kind of smaller
Yeah.
film. Yeah, that's a good budget.
I feel like
Yeah.
they could have went to Illinois for that.
Or, you know, done something to
Yeah,
make.
not
Because,
California.
okay, one thing, this movie, it's Halloween, that iconic fucking theme song that gets stuck in your head and it plays throughout the whole film. So great. Screams Halloween. Everything about it. The pumpkins, the costumes, everything's great. But there's no damn, like, colorful leaves or anything.
Yeah.
It's like the sun's up. It, like, looks like summertime and it's like, is this Halloween or is this, like, not
Or is it,
Halloween?
like,
what's going on
Almost
here?
80 degrees.
By the way, just talking about slasher films, it's inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Okay, and that's interesting because we were talking about this as well. Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of what's her name?
Janet Leigh, who was the
Right.
original Scream Queen, and she is the female protagonist from Psycho.
Being able to scream really well while getting stabbed. That was their talent.
And then she went from that to doing a movie with Tim Allen, a Christmas movie. So.
No way.
Yeah, she's in what's that movie? Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
Wow. I've seen that movie way too many times. I can't lie.
Did you know that was Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is not
Looks the
aged.
same,
She
yeah.
just, she's
Oh,
there.
she
she's-
definitely has.
And they
though.
make
Oh,
a
God, she
Halloween
looks-
She's not like
reference.
Keanu Reeves. She's not a vampire.
Yeah, Keanu
Uh,
Reeves hasn't aged. Tom
yeah.
Cruise hasn't aged.
Yeah, he
I
really
don't
has
think
just
so.
that Scientology. They make a Halloween reference in Christmas with the Cranks, if
Really?
you remember that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I do.
When they play that music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this movie, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun. I thought it was like a nice, cozy movie. It's definitely something I could see myself watching on Halloween, you know, curled up on the
Yeah.
couch.
And
for
think
sure.
back then.
Yeah,
It
could
came
you
out-
imagine going to the theaters and seeing that?
I would
Yeah.
love to see it in a movie
It
theater.
came out
Would you?
like
Because it's a gorgeous movie. Like, it's shot really beautifully.
What would
That's-
be even better is going to like the drive-in and seeing it.
Oh, that
yeah,
would
that'd
that'd
be
be
great.
That'd be dope.
that'd just
Because it's like one of
Hit the
those
spot.
movies. It's a safe movie. Like, anyone can watch it. It's like it's a horror movie, but it's not like so scary that you're going to be up all night.
There's really no gore. To
Yeah,
it.
there really isn't.
There
Like,
isn't.
I don't remember seeing it. Like,
other
any
than
blood.
a few cuts on the
Right.
arm and stuff.
It's very tame. Like I
Yeah.
said, I remember it being a lot more brutal. I think
It's
it's
more
'cause
psychological.
when you're
Yeah.
a kid, yeah, you don't need that much to fill in the blanks of like what's going on. So it might be it might be perceived scarier as a kid. Yeah, we're all grown adults watching this and being like, man, what the hell? They keep cutting away from all the violence.
Stab him 30 more
Yeah,
times.
I want to see penetration.
But it came out on October 25th, so like, man, that had to be something
Right
back
there.
then, you know,
Perfect.
right before Halloween.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I think one thing we should quickly talk about is the Halloween movies were set to be an anthology series, and each film was going to have a different plot line with different characters.
Yeah.
So Halloween 1 came out, and this was like the first one. And then Halloween 2 was set to come out. It was supposed to be a completely different movie, separate from the first one.
Right.
But since the first one, I guess it did pretty well, there was a demand for a second one. They made it. It bombed. And so that's why when we go into the third one, that's the one that's got nothing to do with the rest of the whole
That'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
and AJ and I have neither one of us have seen the third one.
I love the third one
I
personally.
don't
So,
know if
uh,
I've seen all of them either.
Have you seen the third one?
It's
It's the one that doesn't have Michael Myers in it.
I probably haven't then.
It's
So I'm
fucking
guessing
great.
the third one did not do well either because they
They
went back to
they
the
went
Michael
back,
Myers.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, no, sorry, man, it's not working."
You know, Friday the 13th did this. Wanted to do the same thing. It was supposed to be
Mhm.
Jason the first and some like crazy monster. And
So
Yeah.
are we gonna go into the Rob Zombie ones? Are we gonna do those? Or we're just
gonna do
sticking to
all
the original
10. We're gonna
series?
do all 10 and then watch the movie when it comes out.
I think we could
I
leave.
think
I think
the-
we could leave. The
I think
Rob
that would be
Zombie ones out.
12 with Rob Zombies.
Okay, Luke, what would you score this movie out of 5?
I would say 4 out of 5.
Okay,
Boo.
3.5.
really?
Yeah.
I'd give it a solid 4.5. I'd give it a 4, just a regular 4.
All right, since everybody else's score was so high, I'm going to bump mine up a 0.5 and go with a 3. A solid 3. Just with the last 10 minutes I saw.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
So thank you for listening and watching to our the series special on Halloween. And next episode will be over Halloween 2. So hope you guys come back and join us.